Are you a victim of domestic violence? Since 2013, From Ordinary to Extraordinary has helped over 3,000 women, and we want to continue to rebuild the community with one family at a time. Please make a donation or sign up for volunteer opportunities today at IamFote.org. No matter how you choose to get involved, know that every bit counts. From Ordinary to Extraordinary is a 501c3 nonprofit organization designed to empower women and girls that have experienced domestic violence.
Michael, Shawn, and the Takeover Legends, where the truth hurts, but also makes you laugh.
Baby, tap in. Tap, tap, tap in.
Don't never stop if you want to be on top. Yeah.
Low waist, fat, baby, tap in.
Oh, I'm going to tap in for sure.
Tap, tap, tap in.
Hey, good morning, ladies. Let me fix my little webcam right here. Good morning. What is today? Today is the 9th day of 2023. Yeah, I'm going to keep counting until I get bored and tired of it. Good morning. It's a Monday. We done made it to another Monday morning. To everybody that's already on deck rocking with us. Afro Queen, what up, what up, what up, what up? Yes, man. Monday, a lot of things happened over the weekend. Ashley Newman is in the building. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank y'all for those who are up here right on bright. We are only literally 9 minutes off of starting exactly on time. The process is the process, y'all. You can't deny the process. We are trying. We are trying to make it here, to make it sure we start at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. It's all good. Nikki White Chocolate. Good morning. Woo, 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 woo. Good morning there, my girl, Shawnee Scott. What's going on? What's going on? How was your night? How was your weekend? How was everything?
Oh, the weekend. Let's see. What happened the weekend?
Everything
Everything is a blur because, the girls been out of school. So today is their first day back in school. So it seemed like it's been a long weekend. What did we do this weekend? The girl had track practice. We cleaned up. We rearranged the house. What else did we do?
You didn't make it to church. You didn't make it to church. You didn't make it to
church, but we listened to it.
But you listened to it and sent me a sermon. I don't know what type of devilish stuff I've been doing, but when people start sending you sermons, they might be a problem in your life. There's something going on in your life, and some people are like, you might want to watch this.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it in bits, and I watched it while I was working. Well, I listened to it while I was working out. Then I watched it. He brought up I like the way he had the correlation between the football player and the people around and everything and stuff like that. That was dope. But I got to take notes. I really should have taken notes on it so I could have talked about it today. I think that's what I'm gonna start doing.
Did you get anything out of it outside of the football?
No, it wasn't the football, but I didn't get the. That's what I'm saying. I have to watch it again because I was distracted the entire time while I was watching it. So I really got to watch it one more time because you had a message on there. So I gotta watch it and get the message. Damn, Shawnee, they had a month off. I don't know what them kids had. They had a retreat.
They only had 2 weeks off. Usually they have 3 weeks off, but this year they only had 2. Yeah, they didn't get out till like the 22nd.
2 weeks is nice.
And then they go back today. Yeah,
that's a nice break. That's a 2.
I wish they had a month off. Yeah,
I wish I had 2 weeks. I wish I had 2 weeks off. I wish I had 2 weeks. And then you said you were watching something. It was something you were watching.
Bernie Madoff. While I was twisting my daughter's hair, I watched the Bernie Madoff story.
Oh yeah, you twisted your daughter's hair. It only took you like 9 hours. God, you a mom for real, boy. I ain't got the patience, boy. Listen.
Yeah, I twisted ones, and then the other one, she has her hair braided down in the front, and then she put a sew-in in the back, so I had to put her sew-in in. I had to do that one day.
One whole day. Let me tell you something. If I had daughters, they'd be the wig queens, boy. They'd be wiggy, wiggle, wig.
Well, they do that too sometimes, but
I know sometimes it'd be all the time. If I was a single parent, well, you're not a single parent, but I was a primary parent.
I'm not a single parent.
Jesus, I was trying to give I mean, the father's involved. I'm saying you're not by
yourself. No parent. No. We not even.
We in that mood today. Okay, all right. Anyway, so as I was saying, if I was the primary custodial,
like what? Excuse me.
He'll
send a check.
Oh boy. All right. Oh boy.
Well, he did come pick up Carly one day when I was taking Tamron wanted to go to the movies. It was a busy day, so I give him kudos for that. He did come pick Carly up and take her to practice for me, so I have to drive all over the country.
Well, didn't they stay over there for Christmas and stuff like that? But hey,
over there for Christmas. Yeah, they went over there, but then they came back.
Good
They were
morning.
supposed to stay the whole break.
Oh, okay.
They were supposed to stay the whole break.
So how was the Bernie Madoff? How was the Bernie Madoff documentary? How was that? How'd you enjoy that? For those who don't know, he was the one who did the ultimate Ponzi scheme. Basically, he's more complicated than that, and got billionaires caught up in this. And billionaires were literally killing themselves afterwards, after all the money they lost on the Bernie Madoff scam and ultimate scammer. How'd you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I learned that I learned where the term Ponzi scheme came from. Is actually a person. That's the person's last name. This guy named Charles Ponzi did the same thing back in like 1920 or something. And so that's where the whole thing Ponzi scheme came from. And then what was interesting about it too was, you know, how we always say, well, Black people, you know, we say we don't support each other. We always do each other dirty and we can't trust each other. Well, apparently Jewish people can't either, because the Jewish people, this was mad at Bernie Madoff and they could not believe that one of their own had done them like this. So it was interesting.
His own family couldn't believe it. But it goes to show you, no matter what race of people it is, human nature is, when you see something that is too good to be true, you should believe that it's too good to be true the majority of the time. Because there were some people who made money off of it in the beginning who got out. But when you can get billionaires to be more greedy, which is amazing, that he got the billionaires to risk money to make more money, as if you needed more money.
Yeah, and then what got me was is one guy in there that he started with that figured out what he was doing but didn't say nothing to him, and he would blackmail him.
Yeah,
blackmail him without saying that I'm blackmailing you. So I was like, wow.
And they got a Major League Baseball team involved in it. I'm a fan of the New York Mets. And it got so bad that the Mets, the ownership, had to sell the team because they got caught up in the crazy. This was a scandal of all financial scandals. Now, homie, did he die already? Or I know he's still in jail. Did he die? He died. Yeah.
And then it was a Black dude that was working for him too. Now he's in there, but he's in silhouette. He said he didn't want nobody to see him because he didn't want to be attached to it anymore. And it's like, but you doing the documentary, sir? What do you? We hear your voice.
No, you the Black guy that was rocking with Bernie Madoff. Trust me, everybody knows who's in that line of work. Everybody in that circle knows the Black guy that was rocking with Bernie Madoff. I got a funny feeling there weren't too many Black people rocking with Bernie Madoff in that circle of people. But I watched that a long time ago, so that's another one that when I literally got to take notes on everything now, just to remind myself of key points. But that's interesting that the dude Ponzi was an actual person that created the Ponzi scheme.
And it's the Ponzi scheme. 1920s, he did the same thing. Now that I was like, wow.
The Ponzi scheme. There's some other shows that I just caught. The one thing TikTok does do, TikTok will show you no segue. We'll show you a clip of something, and you'll be like, wow, that's a show on HBO Max. There's a show on HBO Max that I got the name. I'm taking pictures now. I'm screenshotting this stuff so I can start watching these programs. Eventually we're gonna get Shawnee to watch Best Man, because obviously I'm just gonna have to start talking about it because the whole world has watched it. I just gotta get Shawnee to take some time, man, because there's a scene that we're gonna have to discuss and see who's happy with Robin and not happy with Robin. But we got to get to that. Jay Black should be.
There's a new one though. There is a new one.
There's a new
episode.
Hey, final chapters.
No. I gotta show this because we still talking about night. I saw this while I was scrolling.
All right, well, come on.
No need to hear it. So they're going on their first date.
Well, you got to explain. Wait. You got to explain what you're watching. Nobody knows what's going on here. What are we doing?
This is
You
Love
might-
After Lockup. This is
Yes.
Love After Lockup. And so Derek met Monique. Well, Monique met Derek while he was in jail. And then
She was so desperate she was using jail as prison as tender. So she went trying to find love. She went to try and find love with somebody in prison.
So last week we saw them, she met him, picked him up from jail. They went to the hotel and, whatever happened. And Mike said he couldn't do that. So now it's been 24 hours. And Monique has presented Derek with all of the presents, the $5,000 worth of clothes and stuff she bought him. And they're going on their first date. So here we go.
I had to watch before. So brother Chris took care of my watch while I was away in prison. And I finally have it back.
Not take care of your watch.
Keep taking pictures. Keep taking pictures. When you live once, I can feel the energy.
Keep taking pictures.
The energy is
Derek.
Finally free.
Giving big daddy energy.
I'm just moving. I just want you to shoot.
Little daddy.
This is our first date together. It feels good to finally have this moment with him. It's really nice.
Good. Love it here.
Yes, Nikki.
Yeah, it reminds me of downtown Chicago.
It's hard to pick just one thing to eat.
Everything you've been thinking about.
Yeah.
Not thinking of mine.
Something for you to start out with. Their crab meatballs. Let's get that. The lamb.
Sincere salmon.
Let's get some crab legs. Let's get that, y'all. And get some lobster.
That's a lot of food.
Derek.
First time for everything. Let's make it special.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's a one thing menu. That's a very expensive restaurant, Derek.
Okay, stop it real quick. Because who is talking? All right, so he orders everything, right, Shawnee? Because this gets long and drawn out with these two. They annoy me. So tell him what happens. Tell him what happens.
So he orders everything, and then after he orders everything, runs up the bill because of course she's paying for this, right?
Right.
Then he says, "Well, can you go to the ATM and get some money so we can go to the casino?"
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "No, I'm tired. I want to go home." And then they get into this. All right. Oh, then he runs into some dudes that he knows, and she get mad about that. And then they go back to the hotel, and he says he's going to the casino without her. And she's like, "Well, if you leave, don't never come back." And then I don't know what else happened because I haven't actually sat down and watched the show. I just watched it through this lady on TikTok that posted stuff.
Yeah, nigga, he ordered everything on the menu, and you would have thought she would order that. First of all, I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
No,
this is actually the dumbest situation. This should be a PSA. This shouldn't even be happening in real life. Like this woman shouldn't even be waiting for this dude to be coming out of prison. But in 24 hours, she already says if you go to gamble, don't come back. So they already on breakup mode. Like they already there. They already
it was more. Keep going.
They already on that dumbness. Like I don't get it. Like this is frustrating to me. And then I guess he goes to the casino because what does he have to lose? What's she gonna do?
I don't know if he goes to the casino.
Well, what happened at the end was he eventually convinced her because obviously she didn't want to lose him. So and he was like, "Look, I just been out. This is my first 24 hours out. I'm trying to live. Like I'm trying to be out. I ain't trying to go to sleep. You know, big girls they get tired. They want to go to sleep. It's like she just ate all that food." No, that part was a joke. Okay, so but she was tired. She wanted to go to sleep, but she eventually got up because he didn't have a ride there. So she had to take him to the casino, and she went to the ATM, gave some bread. He just got out of jail. He just got out, not even 24 hours. He ain't got no license.
She giving him everything else. Or he get a Lyft or Uber.
The man did 9 years in jail. He trying to live, and he ain't trying to be tied down. So she went and got him some bread, and they went to the casino. But the part that me and Lady Q argued about that I had an issue with, he saw one of his friends while they were at the restaurant. They exchanged numbers. She got so jealous and upset she didn't want him hanging with the friend. She took the phone, went in, and deleted the number. I said, that's too much control. And that's why I had issue. Lady could know she's protecting him because that was the people that he used to get in trouble with. She don't want him around him, but you can't control who that man talks to.
I can control everything about you when your whole life depends on me financially.
You cannot.
Yes, I can.
He's been locked down for 9
Yep.
years. Now he got a new warden. Is you
Yep.
like? And I'm supposed to be in a relationship with you?
He should. He took the bait. He wanted the easy road out. He wanted to use this girl for all her money, and now she want to control him. That is life. That's what life is. That's what happens when. First of all, let's talk about how stupid this show is. Let me emphasize how
Love
stupid.
After Lockup, people. We Network
Love
is a really
After
good show.
Lockup is the stupidest. This is the reason why society's IQ is at an all-time low. This is why people are dumb as fuck right now, because of shows like this. We literally are watching a woman who obviously has self-esteem issues actually try and get with this. Yes, obviously has self-esteem issues when you go to prison to pick up a dude.
It's a lot of them that do this.
Yes, and they
all don't look like her.
I don't care what they look like. It's a problem when you start going into the dating pool. People are nervous about doing plenty of fish in the sea. People are nervous about, and you're doing plenty of prisoners in the sea now. Guess what you're doing? You know how stupid you gotta be.
Let me tell you, Connie was a breadwinner, and she took your phone that she's paying for.
That's different.
Went in your phone and deleted.
That's different.
It's different because he made a deal with the devil. He got out of jail. He using her. That's all he's doing is using her because he's using her for a come up of getting out of prison.
Okay, but if I came and got you out of rehab and took your phone and I'm paying for everything,
I wouldn't let you pay for everything because I wouldn't make that deal.
But you changing the narrative. The narrative is you don't have nothing, and I'm the one doing everything.
Yeah.
You don't have nothing. You have
and
nothing.
you run into me. Jay, how you been? Yo, you out?
If you don't have
free.
nothing,
let's exchange numbers. And she like delete. You can't talk.
Guess what? When you ain't got nothing, you ain't got no leverage. This whole world is about leverage. He ain't got no leverage. So he got her deleting numbers out his phone. Yup. Because guess what you did? You ordered all that food and ain't have a dime in your pocket. Guess what I'm deleting? I'm deleting any number I want to. You accepted $5,000 worth of clothes. I would never accept $5,000 of wardrobe from somebody and not think that I'm not indebted to him. Of course I'm indebted. Of course you know. Look at me and look at you.
If I bought you $5,000 worth of clothes,
I would tell you to take it back and you're losing your mind.
Well, that's hard to say when you're in
everything comes with a price in this world. Just look at them. Are they equally yoked? Do you think those two people are supposed to be together? He knows he got the advantage. He knows when he's walking through a casino, people looking at him and he's looking at them. He's checking out chicks and all that other stuff. She knows she don't have the options he got. So she got to control him. It's a deal.
Well, he's saying he's sticking with her. Well, they all say that.
It's been 24 hours. They're on the verge of breaking up. Stop it. It's been 24 hours.
I guess it's easier when you're in jail. And she know where you're at, and what she that's what he said. That I want to be out. Yeah. Said, no, if you was in jail, you'd be asleep right now. He said, but I'm free. Let me be free. So
how about while you free, you get a job? How about the first thing you should be thinking about is getting a job? That's the first thing you should be figuring out. How am I going to
control nobody though? I don't care how much. That's too much.
He's her property. Yeah.
Property, yeah.
She bought him. She bought him. She should have gave that dude. She should have cut a receipt when she gave him the money. She should have been like, "Here's the receipt. This is the receipt I have on you. Oh, you want to eat? We'll pay for it then, homie. I bet you've been making sandwiches then. Man, I can't stand when people. Man, whatever. You gotta be kidding me right now. Talking about I'm mad because he deleted you. Yeah. I want to know who paying for the cell phone.
She's paying for the phone.
Exactly. So give me my phone.
Okay, you know what? I need to get my own phone and I ain't got nothing to do with you.
Exactly. Yup.
But that ain't how relationships work.
No, that's exactly how relationships work.
I pay for Lady Q phone. I can't say give me the phone.
No. When y'all first met, did you give her $5,000 in wardrobe?
No, I didn't do that.
Did you put her on your cell phone bill when you first met her?
No, I didn't.
No. Did you spend a whole bunch of money on dinner and let her order everything on the meal? The first date y'all went on?
Well, you can't say the first day. They've been dating for 9 years. Like he's been locked up for 9 years. They've been together
talking on the phone.
I think they met like within 3 or 4 years, last 3 or 4, something like that. But he's been locked up for the last 9.
Long time. 3.
Yeah, they be dating 3. Yeah, long time. They invested in these people.
Stop watching this
I
stuff.
thought they had
Gabby and Chris, Justine and Michael. Like, it's several couples that I really follow, and like, man, that's like it's interesting to see how things play out. Beefing with the mother-in-law and it's a lot. This show is really good, Mike. If you just take some time to watch it.
No, I'm not watching this nonsense. I'm not watching this nonsense. It's
good morning,
total.
Stacey.
Good morning, Stacey, and congratulations,
Nikki. I saw you, Nikki.
I'm gonna be out of town. You have a function going on. There's a brunch or something you got going on. I can't make it because I'm not gonna be here. But shout to you. You should send it to us so we can promote it a little bit for you. Sharing locations like what? Listen, dude, you already know where this is going. You don't need a writer for this. You already know this relationship ain't gonna last.
Yeah, and she beefing with his family still. So she got that to contend with.
Yeah, what happened with that? So, because somebody was talking about the sister thinking that it's not his sister because they said the girl was in the bed or something.
Yeah, it's a lot of social media drama that they going through with the family, and they don't like the girl because she's they think that their brother deserves a lot better than coming home after 9 years, and that's what he's coming home to. They don't like her
because she's got a few extra pounds.
I think that plays a part. You know how people mean.
No, but we can say it's mean all we want, but the reality is the reality. If you see me with her, y'all gonna judge me too. Both these squares gonna look at me like, what are you doing? That is the vainness of this society. Y'all both
I'm gonna be like, where is Mike? Because I already know Mike ain't doing this.
All three squares with Mo's here. Y'all would all want. Y'all would probably have a faster intervention off of that than you would on my alcohol. You're like, we got to sit down and talk to you, Mike. We got to sit down with you.
Where is Mike? Wait a minute. What is going on? Man,
y'all be like, y'all need better. Listen, man, I can't even believe this show is actually real, but it probably is real. I don't even believe it, but because I've met somebody who actually does this same exact thing, and I met the person in person and was told that the person that was in prison was mad at her while she was a free woman. And I realized and it was some consistencies that this woman had with the other woman that I met in person. Nikki White Chocolate, I'm not watching that bullshit. I had my own love after lockup. Go ahead, Nikki, let them know. And guess what? The shit didn't work out. You don't need Dr. Phil to tell you. You don't need Dr. Phil. You don't need the late, great Kevin Samuel to let you know what's about to go wrong in this situation.
Find love.
And you already know there's going to be some drama. He going to get into something, and she going to have to bail him out of something. There's something that's going to be some drama. Anyway, before we get into the other drama that I witnessed this weekend, Jay Black, how was your weekend?
Weekend was good. A lot of family time. My family feel like they just learned about Uno. Feel like we was playing a lot of Uno.
Uno's different now. Did you play the new Uno, the new Uno where you could take somebody's cards and all that stuff?
No, I don't know the new one. They got a new version.
Oh, the new one is vicious. You could literally just swipe somebody's cards and oh man. Well, I played it like 2 years ago. That was I didn't even know that Uno existed.
We got to get the new Uno then. But yeah, a lot of family time with Uno. Took my boy, went to the movies. Went to see Puss in Boots finally. Little family. A lot of family stuff.
What? What did you go see?
Puss in Boots, the cat.
Puss in Boots?
Yeah.
Puss in Boots, yeah.
I guess
they actually allowed them to name the movie Puss in Boots?
Yeah.
That's an old story. That's since we was kids. You never heard of Puss in Boots?
No, I never heard no Puss in Boots.
That's an old book. That story is older than me.
Mike's funny.
Yeah, Puss in Boots.
Y'all just used to it. Y'all think because it's an old book, it ain't have an agenda when they named it Puss in Boots?
It's the cat.
Oh, you going back to the
girl
the agenda, y'all just
see the cat in the boots, and I said the cat in the boots. I said, "Is there Puss in Boots?" And they was like, "Yeah, that's it."
How about you call it the cat in the boots instead of calling it Puss in Boots?
But
you don't think the adults that created that name didn't know exactly what they was doing? Nasty bastards.
It's from Shrek, Stacy said. That's what my son said too. He came from Shrek.
Got little kids talking around. I'm going to see Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots. That's a whole story.
I don't care if it's half a story. You think because it's a whole story? I'm talking about the name. The name is inappropriate, and everybody know it. Puss in Boots. All they had to say was the cat in the boots.
Well,
So anyway, you went to go see the movie, and what else?
Yeah,
That
no,
was it?
that was good. Like I said, a lot of family stuff. So yeah, it was good. Good.
so yeah, so it came out. This is an Italian fairy tale that later spread throughout the rest of Europe about a cat who uses trickery to deceive and gain power, wealth, and all that.
Look
This
at that.
started in 1550. This
Look
is
at
an
that.
old story.
Yeah, old and dirty. Look at this. It's a whole crazy. But anyway,
He uses trickery and deceit to
Mike
gain,
think it's
trickery
tough.
and deceit for Puss in Boots. That sounds just about right. Normally the
gain
puss does have
power
trickery.
and wealth. To
Yeah, that's
gain
normally what
power.
the puss does. Gain wealth and power off of being deceitful. That's normally what the puss does. What was the rating on the movie? Who knows, Jeanette? Who
I
knows?
rate the movie good. I followed along. I wanted to know how it ended. Like a lot of time with these kid movies is not for adults, but you really can get into it and
No, it's
you
really
want to
not for
see how
kids.
it ends.
It's really not for kids. The actual the actual theme of the movie ain't for kids. Kids just don't get it.
Puss in Boots. Yeah.
Puss in Boots. You
And
gotta
that's
be
because
laughing.
I kept wondering why the girls kept saying the cat in the boots.
Because they respectful young ladies. That's why, because they know they felt funny calling it Puss in the Boots. Mike, have you ever seen Tom and Jerry and thought I saw a pussy? Yes, all the time. Every time I watch Tom and Jerry, I see the little hints in there of nastiness of who was created these cartoons. You should see the old cartoons and the nastiness they used to do about masturbation, about the little mouse being on the assembly line and what they used to do. Anything Shrek, I think, is not for kids. Facts, Stacy. Thank you. And send us the information on this brunch that, unless I read it wrong on Facebook, I saw a message that came on.
Yeah, and Stacey was on Good Morning America or something too. I saw that little clip. A picture was on there. Stacey be doing a lot.
Stacey working.
Stacey on it.
Stacy on it. So my weekend was cool. Everything was fine. Got more stuff out the house, sent more stuff to the Goodwill, and then watched football. But then anybody who knows me knows the favorite thing I like to do above any sporting event,
boxing,
is watching boxing. But because boxing isn't as consistent as the other sports, I have to rely on football and basketball and stuff like that. And let me write this thing about football that happened that I was actually shocked about, that people are kind of letting slide football. Let me put the team down. The Steelers. Okay. So I'm watching. I get it together. Ashley Newman, what up? Mickey putting holes, making a Swiss cheese with his penis. Ashley, thank you very much, Ashley.
Yeah.
Mickey did that.
Much, Ashley.
Mickey ain't did that.
Yes, he did.
He did.
Yes, he did. This because the pedophile agenda spreads quickly and has been spreading since the beginning of time. All right. So I tell my dad's like, I said, Dad, you want to watch the fight? You want to spend this money on the fight? Because I kind of know, but I got a funny feeling it's going to be the main event. They got some good fights and there was an upset. So we get it. It's like $74.99. We get it. We rock out, me and my dad, and we chill and we watch the fight. And then when the main event comes on, Gervonta Davis, it's actually a good fight with this guy, Hector Garcia. It's a good fight. And when a fight breaks out in the audience at a boxing match, you never stop the fight, ever.
Happens all the time.
Ever. They never stop the fight, because what's the stupidity of showing a fight of amateurs in the crowd when you got two professionals who are actually doing the same thing that you paid to see? You paid to see them fight. You ain't paid to see nobody in the audience fight. The only time a fight ever got stopped is when somebody flew in with the fan.
It came down.
And that's because he damn near could have killed somebody.
Yeah.
And like a good boxing crowd did, they beat his ass to a pulp when they grabbed him. So there's a ruckus going on. I don't pay no attention. Well, Gervonta Davis, being the hood dummy that he is, he looks at the crowd. Now, if I was the other guy, I would have punched him dead in his face once he looked at the crowd, because the ref didn't stop it. Like Gervonta Davis took it on his own
at all times.
And if that was Floyd Mayweather, you would have got punched in the face for looking into the crowd. That's when he should have rocked him. But they stopped the fight, which was ridiculous. Even the announcers was like, why the hell, basically, are we stopping the fight? Well, when we stopped the fight, all of a sudden, we see a familiar face running his mouth. And I shouldn't say running his mouth, because he came out and said he was being respectful to people. Meek Mill gets into it with somebody in the audience. And a lot of people don't know who he got into it with the audience. But it was allegedly, from what I heard, it was a guy named Gary Russell Jr., who's an elite fighter who actually is in line to fight Gervonta Tank after this Garcia fight. And Wallow, for $1 million worth of game, comes and saves the day. Wallow literally settles everybody down. So here's a little clip on just a little clip.
Shawn, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I didn't know you had that. Okay, good.
So here's a little clip on Wallow coming in saving the day.
That's Philly for y'all.
Well, this is the first one.
I take a good look at the crowd. You see how they just stood up? Meek Mills and somebody done got into a scuffle out there in the crowd.
Fighting the crowd.
During the fight.
Right here, I'd have punched him right in his face. Right there. I'd have just ran up on him. Boop,
So he stops to look at the crowd fight.
Somebody fighting in the crowd.
Well, wait a minute. The white boy stopped first and looked.
Stood up. Meek Mills and somebody done got into a scuffle out there in the crowd.
Fighting the crowd.
During the fight.
Tank just looked over right there. Tank looked over. That's why he looked over.
What's going on over here?
And the ref instead of saying
fighting the crowd.
But because the boxer stopped, the ref was like, all right,
all
time
the ref has
out.
to do is say, keep going. Don't worry about that. People paid $74.99. That's Wallow in the red jacket right there. See him. That's Wallow saying, nah. What we doing? Brother, come here. No. Look, take this hug. We good, homie. We good. Everything's straight. Everything's good. It was just a misunderstanding, yo.
DC and Philly up in there.
We ain't got to do all that. Wallow know what it could turn into right now. And that's Meek decides I'm out of here.
We out. I'm out. It's drama. Let's go. We out.
He out of there knowing damn well.
We got another angle.
Squad out. Squad out.
All right, so play the other angle. We play the other angle real quick. And this all happened Saturday night. It was in DC. It was a sold out crowd. Gervonta Davis brings them people out. And all right, here's another angle. We got multiple angles here. Okay.
Is that a picture?
I don't know if that's a picture, but it has a play.
That's me?
Yeah. Is that a picture or the video?
No,
I
that's
got
a
the
video.
video. Okay.
He got music behind this stuff. Who put the love music in the background? Who put the love track in the background? Right? Who did that? It's Wallow coming. Go ahead, Wallow.
So that's the gist of. So Wallow just jumped in to be the peacemaker. He just jumped in to be the peacemaker.
We have to applaud Wallow, because Wallow be talking this. He be talking about the ignorance that goes on and how small things like this can turn in. And he put out a statement how he knows how a verbal dispute can end up in our culture. And I got to give Wallow credit for sticking his neck out there to try and actually dead that, because that could have really, Wallow took a real chance.
Yeah.
He took a real chance that them boys over there, if it was Gary Russell Jr., if it was, allegedly that's who it was. If it was Gary Russell and his brothers who were all fighters, Wallow took a big chance in getting involved in something that he didn't start. Now, Meek Mill came out and said that people don't understand I was being quite respectful to everybody. And all you see is all the media is putting out as my response, but not seeing everything else that went on. He said, maybe I should get my responses done faster so y'all can see how everything went down. I don't know. We don't know. All I know is I think Wallow really stepped up after all the things he has said on his podcast. The fact that he actually took initiative and do this in real life, I got to give you credit, Wallow. This might be more important than anything you've ever said on that podcast, any message you ever said on your own, on your IG or your TikTok. The fact that you did that is amazing. And shout to you. Shout to the home.
Yeah, I just don't, but from afar, you can't tell. When I first watched it, I said, how's Wallow getting in the mix? Why has he got drama? From afar, you don't know who's trying to squash. Jay-Z said that. From afar, you can't tell who's the fool. So I would have minded my business, but kudos to him.
I mean, he was there. Philly was in the building supporting their Philly fighters. And if you ever been to a boxing match, fight crowds are very heated. Like when there are a lot of people who watch people box and decide they want to fight.
Yeah.
But Meek is literally saying, I didn't start this, but it could have turned into something ugly, but it didn't. It didn't.
You can't take you ninjas nowhere.
Can't take you ninjas nowhere. But I don't even like in Meek's situation, being his situation that he's had with the law and the unjust judge who had him locked up and all that other stuff. You would think the last thing Meek want to do is engage in any type of, even if it's friendly talking shit back and forth into a crowd. You know, he said the fight wasn't gonna go the distance. And I guess they got into something. That's why I believe it was Gary Russell Jr. because Gary Russell Jr. was doing an Instagram live during the fight saying, Tank don't want that with me. Y'all better stop talking that Tank want. If y'all watch what he's doing right now against this guy who's slow as hell. So that's why I kind of believe it, but it's alleged. It's alleged, but it's not alleged that the superhero came out the clear blue sky. My man Wallow.
See the
day. Yo, chill. Came to watch the fight. The man gave an actual hug, like, yo, it's all good. More men you need to be like that. That's what I talk about. Old head holding it down for the crowd. All he probably said is, Ninja, get the bag and stop. You will go to jail. Well,
that's all Wallow probably said. Yeah, that could have been his jewels. Yeah, that could have been his jewels.
You don't want to go. You don't.
Who won the fight? Who won the darn fight?
Javante actually stopped Hector Garcia, and it was the craziest thing because even boxers have changed. Because there was a good fight. It was close. I had Javante winning the fight, and he caught him with some clean punches. I think it was in the 9th or 8th round. And the guy went to the corner. His eye wasn't swollen or anything. And the guy said in Spanish, I can't see out my right eye. I can't see.
Oh, you heard what he said because you knew Spanish.
Yeah. He was like, I can't see. And his trainers were like trying to get him to go back out. But he was like, I can't see. And it's funny how even boxers have changed their philosophy because years ago, they would have just shoved him out there and been like, yo, just move, just hold and move. But he was like, I'm not going back out there. I can't see. This guy hits entirely too hard to go out there if I can't see. Then the Spanish, he was Puerto Rican actually. At the end of the fight, when they interview him, they were like, well, what happened? And he repeated. He said, you know, he hit me with some good shots and I couldn't see out my right eye. Then he said, I didn't even know where I was at. I have never heard a boxer be that damn honest afterwards. He was like, I didn't know where I was at.
And Javante tweeted under that same video, dang, I didn't know I hit that hard. I said shady. He was shady, but yeah, it was all good. So it sounded like a good fight.
It was all good, and I enjoyed the prelims. They actually had a good card, so I don't feel like I wasted the money in vain. It was actually some good fights, some upsets and everything like that. So yeah, that was the Wallow situation. And then speaking of drama and violence, we might as well hit the allegedly so we can get into our main story of the show. So if anybody got the allegedly set up, just hit it and we can get
on. We got Leah Frazier coming on in like 30 minutes. I don't know what store you're going in.
Yeah, I'm going into it right now so we can get it started and then Leah can come her.
Let's get this mother crawl. Yo, what's up? Baby, let's go.
Allegedly. What? With Sexy Mo. Yeah. Powered by Media Room 360 TV.
Okay.
We'll be back tomorrow doing allegedly. While she's gone, filling in for Sexy Mo is all of us. That's right. All of us get our opinion. All right. In tragic news, a 6-year-old goes to school and shoots a teacher in the chest. The only information they're giving out right now is that it wasn't an accident. I've never heard them come out and just say this wasn't an accident. They literally just said, the cop said, this was not an accident. This 6-year-old shot this teacher intentionally. Amazing, tragic, sad that this story even takes place. People had obviously emotional reactions to it. There was a lady. Do we have a lady who she had a child in her hand and she was furious over what just took place? And like everybody in America is, nobody can understand what went on and how a 6-year-old gets involved in such a violent action. And from what I'm hearing, I have yet to hear the parents come get the child, or nobody's even said where the child's at this point. Like, is the child locked up? Is the child in a foster home? Is the child out on bond? Is the child with the parents? Like, nobody's even explained where's the child at, and why haven't the parents had a camera in their face asking the questions that we need answers to? So this is the lady right here who had a severe reaction to what took place. I think her child, she might have been picking her, or her husband might be working there or something.
for guns. It's the biggest problem in this country. The statistics in the UK for crime is 0 for guns. Why is it so bad? Why is there a 7-year-old with a bloody gun? Come on, think about it. Let's do something. We've got a new governor now. Let's do something. Let's change it. You've got a beautiful country. You've got beautiful people. But what's the problem? Guns. How does a 7-year-old have a gun? That's what I'm pissed off with. I'm only here because my husband's in the military, or otherwise I would not have chosen to come to this country. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Oh, that was in Virginia. This happened in Virginia. Okay. So this, I thought I said this out of the country. So a 6-year-old shot a teacher. It was actually in Virginia. So this is close.
Yeah, it was in Virginia. Now we got to figure out, because everything's been quiet, has been kept. Like whatever's going on, they're really trying to figure out the details on how this child got a gun and how the child was able to walk through the school with a gun. Obviously, there were no metal detectors in that school. Teacher who was shot by a 6-year-old boy identified told other students to run away to safety.
She's 20. I saw she was 25 years old.
She was shot in the chest. Once it happened, she told them she told the other kids to get out of the way. Her and the little boy got into an argument, and that's why he shot her.
Now, the lady made a point. There are countries in this world that literally their gun violence doesn't add up to one city in America. But like I said, the genie's out the bottle. We love guns. We love violence. We've been bamboozled. Now, once you tell people that you need guns to protect yourself, that's when you get them. Just like everybody took the COVID vaccination. Once you put fear in people, they go do it. They jump right in line. And now we've gone to a spot where a 6-year-old gets a gun. If it was his math,
the math teacher, understand.
Yeah.
That long division is crazy, right?
That is horrible.
That
That is horrible.
No, but why are you arguing with a like? Why are you going back? I wonder if this is a buildup, and maybe he didn't feel safe with her.
Here we go.
I literally start thinking because for him to have a gun readily after they arguing, is that a buildup? Like if she say something to me today, is this a buildup? Like I guess we don't know.
Here he goes with the buildup. Here he goes with the.
But you didn't think about what happened, like what she did to him, for him to.
No.
I always think of both aspects of what led up to that. Like it has to be some logic behind it or something. And then how I usually try to figure out how and why did we get to this point.
How and why? This is what I want to know. How and why did a 6-year-old have access to a gun? 6 or 7-year-old, whatever. We're saying everybody said 6-year-old. The lady said 7-year-old. I want to know how did a first grader get access to a gun? And I tell you, the person who needs to be very afraid, the person who owns that gun. The person who owns that gun needs to be very afraid right now. Because obviously that kid knew how to get access to a gun, which is the scariest thing that you could possibly think of. What if that kid had a problem with... Listen, it doesn't matter how old you are. Whoever got shot is tragic. But what if he had a problem with another kid in the class? What if he had a problem with another kid in the class and he had access to that gun? But you know what? A 6-year-old could come in and shoot up the class, and ain't nothing gonna change with the gun laws. So all this I'm doing right now is a waste of breath, because America loves their guns. America don't give a damn who gets killed, who gets shot, how the guns get got, how the guns are accessible. They don't care. We're living in the last days for real, Don Page.
Some kids are really savvy though, and they figure things out. When you say how did he have access, maybe it was locked up, or maybe the kid figured out a code. I
don't care. You own, once you take responsibility on owning something that could kill somebody, that is your responsibility. Tajabi says, no, Jay, no, not today with that. The teacher is the problem bullshit.
I was just wondering. That's all. There's nothing wrong with wondering. You said the teacher was arguing with the student and he shot. Like, wait. So what led up to this?
Teacher probably told arguing
for weeks, for months.
Teacher probably told him to put his jacket in the closet.
No, not the Marquise or
Marquise. To put the jacket in the closet.
Not like that. I would just. It was
Look,
a legit.
Jay want to come to the school and be like, well, what was you saying to my kid that made him shoot you?
No, I was just wondering. It literally crossed my mind of what led up, because you don't just shoot somebody. It's usually a buildup. Like it's something.
No, you wouldn't if you didn't have access to a gun.
But he's 6, so his mentality may not be.
If you didn't have access to a gun, you wouldn't have shot nobody. if you couldn't get your hands on a gun? But once again, people, everything I'm saying means nothing because it's not going to change a damn thing.
How the hell the kid's strong enough to fire the gun? Yeah, somebody said that in the comments. Like, he can't even tie his shoes probably, but he could pull the trigger. Yeah. But I'm sitting there
if we had the stats on how many kids kill themselves by mistake by guns being in the house. We had the stats on that, Nick. I was just thinking about that. Look, you tap that gun goes off, and now we got to figure out, well, and I'm sure they're being very careful right now to try and find it. And I'm sure they have asked the teacher what went on because they're going to question the teacher. What was the relationship with the student? They're going to question everything like that. The only problem is you got kids in classes where another kid can walk in with a gun. I don't know what to tell you, parents. I don't know what to tell you, parents. It ain't safe.
Yeah, my issue is when you said the parents going to get charged, and I'm like, how? If the parents did their due diligence, they had systems in place.
Done their due diligence. How could have they done their due diligence?
Kids are smart. Kids can figure out codes to a lockbox. Kids can watch your moves. They can break into stuff to have access.
He's 6, which means
you're smart at 6.
You didn't do a good job of hiding or putting that gun where it should be.
But say if the parents did,
it don't matter. They didn't. He got the gun. This is what I'm saying. Y'all want
it is a duty. It is a thing called duty of care.
Yes,
like as long as you
duty of care, and you failed. I don't care what you did. You failed. If that kid got the code, it was your fault. It was your fault for opening it in front of him for getting the code.
Maybe I didn't open in front of him. He just figured it out, or he tried different comments. Like some kids,
I don't want it. Y'all,
you want to blame the parents. That's why I was like, how you going right to the parents should be getting locked up?
Y'all want to own something that can take a life, but y'all don't want the responsibility that comes with what owning that means. The responsibility is that somebody gets this gun and uses it to kill somebody, and people start getting charged. I bet you people won't get them guns no more. Just like the kid who shot his mom over not getting
10-year-old. Yeah, he wanted the VR. He wanted the VR set, and he shot and killed his mom.
He wanted to have that gun in the house,
and then ordered it. Do we know the ethnicity of the kid? Nah. Well, why would that matter, Nikki? What would it matter? What would the race of the kid?
I'm gonna say the kid. I'm gonna say I've had to put my 75 cents up. I would say the kid was white, simply because they're taking their time with the investigation. John Page, his parents probably have taken him hunting. Probably, who knows? I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing illegal with that.
Why the kid know there's a gun in the house at 6? Don't know. Jay just said because he's smart.
What do you mean? What kids see stuff? They know that guns exist. We can't.
They're not supposed to know that we have a gun in the house.
Well, they're not supposed to know that we have a gun.
My girls know I got mine, and they know where it's at. They know how to handle it. They know how to shoot it. They can shoot it better than me.
But this 6-year-old knew where it was at. Oh, we're assuming. Maybe the 6-year-old got it from somewhere else. But I doubt it. That means you made the kid, hypothetically, you made the kid lunch. You ain't noticed he had a gun in the bag. You ain't checked the bag. I don't know. We're just assuming, but I know they're being very hush-hush on what's going on with this. And they should. They should take their time. Just like they should have taken their time when DJ Twitch actually committed suicide.
Read that duty of care. What is duty of care, Mike?
Legal obligation that is imposed on an individual requiring adherence to a standard of responsible care while performing any act that could foreseeable harm others. So what is this?
So if the parents had a lockbox and they did everything that they could do,
how do you get the key to the lockbox?
Who knows how the kid
found it? But duty of care.
The kid may have found it, but may have broke in. Say if they didn't get a key and somehow they broke
into the lockbox.
Like if the parents
he broke into the lockbox.
What I'm saying is, if the responsible gun owner did a reasonable, that's the key word there, way of trying to keep that protected, and the kid still got to it, that the parents shouldn't be charged.
If a 6-year-old was able to break your reasonable care, you were negligent. If a 6-year-old was able to crack that, you were negligent. If a 6-year-old can do that. Oh, Shawnee, she says, since what age did the girls know about you having a gun?
2020.
Yeah, so it was 2 years ago.
They were
Jay Black, my 15-year-old can't remember my PIN to my debit card. He ain't figuring out the code to the safe. At 6. At 6, Jay Black wants to say the kid outsmarted the parents.
I'm saying they could have. We don't know if the parents had the gun protected. Don't know.
If he knows
if
where
they
the gun,
did-
if he knows where the gun's at, that's neglect. If he knows how to get to the gun, that's neglect. I'm with you, Mike. Probably an angry white kid. Will only be televised if the kid was a minority. Probably. Well,
you might have told them because I know some of the basketball teams they played on longer. It was a little girl. They lived in the country and they weren't black. I don't know what they were, but I think the dad was like some kind of tactical officer, and that girl knew how to shoot rifles, and so she had a whole thing. If somebody broke in their house, she knew how to get to the gun, what to say to them,
and if that same girl goes to school and shoots somebody, you liable. It's your gun. It's your gun.
I just think
used in a crime. It's your gun used in a crime. But once again, y'all don't want the responsibility that comes with a deadly weapon. Y'all want to have an escape route. Well, it wasn't my fault. You knew when you. This is what they don't tell people. This is what I wish they would tell people. You do know, okay, you want to be safe, fine. Understand the response. I don't have a problem. I'm not fighting this fight. You should be allowed to have a gun in this country. Fine, go get it. But your responsibility needs to be on the highest level. Understand if your gun gets taken and is used by somebody in your house, you gonna catch this situation. So do you still want the gun? I just want to know, do you still want the gun? They probably trying to figure out how to change the charge to the parents. Probably. Because can you imagine they trying to charge the 6-year-old?
Now answer this then, Mike. I saw this also. Hold on, let me take this Jeanette thing down. I saw this happen. A 12-year-old in Oklahoma, this just happened, stabbed her brother, 9 years old, to death, and then woke the parents up and said, "Hey, I just stabbed my brother," and woke the parents. So the parents should be charged there too?
No,
because they got knives. They got knives around, Mike. Knives are deadly.
No sense.
Knives are, you want to blame the parents for what the kid did.
What you're doing is reaching so poorly that they would kick you out of court right now if you brought this up. They would be like, "Get out of here. This has nothing to do with that."
That is, you blaming the parents because the kids had access to a weapon.
You have no choice but to have a knife in your house.
You do have choices. If you know your kids is mentally unstable or got issues, you can't have knives around.
Can we keep apples that you sound pathetic right now.
No, I don't. That's
you
just
sound
the truth.
pathetic right now.
That's
not the same thing as a gun. What do you want? There's nothing a parent isn't told to keep the knives and the forks away from people after they finish eating.
They kill people too, though. You have to, if that's the case, you can blame the parent for that. You want to blame the parent.
This has nothing to do with having a gun in your house that the kid takes it to a school and kills somebody. And yeah, you want this? If the kid left the house with a knife, you'd probably get in trouble for that, for your kid leaving your house with a knife.
You should have kept the knives put away according to
you should know what your kid is leaving with.
But you're not. The reality, you did a lot of things your parents
so once
didn't know.
again, you're not, but you should. And when the law starts being enforced, people will. People will start checking. Most of that area is Black and Hispanic, though. So we'll see.
Virginia. Mike just don't want to blame the. Well, Leah Frazier, our resident attorney, friends of the room.
No,
I wonder if she could say the parents can be charged if they had a duty of care, they wasn't negligent and they were reasonable.
All right, guys. All right.
Don't never stop if you want to be on top. Yeah.
Tap in.
It's Michael Shawn the Takeover Legend, Shawnee Scott, Jay Black. Sexy Mo will be back tomorrow. She was on an amazing cruise. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Don Page. We're talking about the 6-year-old. We'll have Leah Frazier come on and talk more about this and what could happen to them. We don't even know where the kid got the gun from, first of all. That's the first thing. We don't know how the kid got it. He can get it from his uncle's house. He could have got it from a cousin's house. And y'all going to be in trouble too. A knife is not made to be a weapon. A gun is. Jay's reaching. You ain't got to respond. Jay's DJ Reacher right now. Just trying to change the subject. But in crazy news, that's tragic news. The player, maybe one of the biggest players ever as a president. I don't even know if we got the clip, but I just want to say this. There's a black man who says he's Bill Clinton's son.
What?
Yeah.
He did a video. He said, look, I got Bill Clinton, former President Bill Clinton. I got his mouth. I got his eyes. He even said the waves that he had. He said, if you look at Bill Clinton, he's got waves. And do we have the video? Do you have the video, Shawnee?
Yes.
And yeah. He's a grown man making his, like, he's grown. Like, he got to be in his 30s. He's grown. So here's the black guy who says Bill Clinton is. Yeah, he's grown. From what I saw, because I just looked at when I watched it, I laughed. Of some of the stuff he said just made me have to laugh hysterically. Even if he is your dad, but I mean, we always said he was the first black president. We always said that, you know, y'all was all Bill Clinton's the first black president because he played the damn saxophone. But do we have it?
Yes.
All right. Oh, God.
I have no doubt that I am Bill Clinton's son. It was common knowledge. Everyone in Arkansas knew. Everywhere I went, they point, that's Bill Clinton right there. He looked like him, don't he? The ears, the mouth, the chin, the teeth, the eyes, the nose. I see him in me. You can see a black Bill Clinton. When I brush my hair, I can see Bill Clinton with waves in his head. I always felt bad about him not wanting to be in my life. Because I was black, was it something wrong with me? Why he don't want to be a part of me? It made me think of even sometimes suicide. It's not fair. It has been hurtful. He still refused to acknowledge me. Well, time was very hard. And my mom was a working girl on the streets. She was heavy on drugs.
My name is Lucia Bolton. My sister's following me when he was dead and when he was smoking. She's a prostitute and she, you know, hung around on the streets on 7th and Main. She met him on the street.
I was told that she was with him on 13 occasions.
You know, like, you don't know, about 5 or 6 months after, you know, they had dated and everything.
My mom went to prison and lost custody of us. My Aunt Lucia stepped up and gained guardianship of us. She raised us in Little Rock, Arkansas. At the time, we was from group home to house. My Aunt Lucia wanted to have a father in life. As a small child, she took me to the governor mansion.
There was a car coming at the front gate, right? When the gate swings open, I ran up in there and ran behind the gate, okay?
She was trying to get him to accept me and notice me.
When I got to the door, I asked for her, and the door was slammed in my face.
Slammed the door in her face. This is Bill's son. He had the black son out here.
And these little guys hit him off the side of the place.
Hillary, she had guys chase him off the property.
And I went to run
I read history. Actually, goes back to slave owners.
Y'all want to watch the whole season?
No,
you can just skip.
No, we can stop there. We can stop.
Yeah. I know he mentioned something about Bill was paying him money though until he got to the presidency, and then that's when the money stopped. So I thought that part was interesting when I saw it. That's the only thing that gave me like a little pause.
State of Arkansas put us in foster care. I lived in foster homes. It made me feel.
I don't know.
We got gang members, drug addicts.
Yeah, he gave him $700 a month.
Yeah, Bill was paying him. Why was he paying him money? That's the only part that got me.
They were getting they didn't know where it was coming from, but the state troopers would bring them $700 in cash every month and every year Christmas presents from the state troopers. They didn't know why it was coming.
No, so this guy
listen, his story is sad and it's tragic. If I don't know what let me just tread with, because the man was talking about suicide and everything like that, and that's a serious situation. But don't say you don't know why he doesn't want to be. You know why, because he was probably the governor. And you just said your mom was working the streets. So chances are, I don't know if they took a DNA test.
He said they did, but he thought the people that did it was, part of the society, the people that make it fraud. He said he did and it came back negative or something.
He said he did. No, he said Bill said they did, but they never took one, and he's willing.
Yeah. That's what he said. He never gave up his stuff, so how would he know? And I don't know. Does he look like Bill Clinton? Could be.
I mean, when he puts the features in, there are features. There are similarities. I mean, they are.
That could be his daddy.
That could be his dad.
Probably is his daddy.
But he was probably the governor when it happened. And this is probably in the 70s, 80s, probably sometime in the 80s. Was he the 80s? I don't know. This is par for the course. I mean, I hate to sound mean, but if your mom was working as like, should he live up to responsibilities? Yeah. But if they didn't take a test, if he never took it, it's not gonna happen, homie. It's not gonna happen.
Should he be staking out Bill's crib trying to get this trash to get some saliva out of the, something to get his own test done, hire his own PI?
Now there's a movie that is loosely based on Bill Clinton that John Travolta actually plays a politician, and in the movie he actually gets somebody pregnant. He gets one of the people pregnant at a restaurant or whatever. So there's always been rumors. Like Bill Clinton has been knocking off people on the side forever. Like it's forever. I don't know. They both have no. Yeah, they they both have similar. They have features.
Just get a DNA. Should Bill get it? Is Don said just get a DNA? But the Bill no, I don't have to.
Let's be realistic here. Do you think there's any possible way they can force Bill Clinton, former president of the two-term president of the United States, to get a DNA test for this young man?
Well, he can get one of his kids. I'm staking out some. If that's me, I'm finding where Chelsea Clinton lives. I'm going through.
You won't even be able to get near Chelsea Clinton.
I want the trash. I just want to get a toothbrush. I want to get a cup. I want to get something. We doing some tests.
These people are not. They're not protected by the cops. Secret Service people protect them. You're not getting to their trash. You know what he could do? Go ask Monica for that dress. Monica don't even have the dress. Linda Tripp and them people, they got the dress. Bill was in those Arkansas streets. He was. Bill was in there knocking things off and doing a whole bunch of stuff. And allegedly he took the flight up to Jeffrey Epstein. Let me write this down. I sent y'all the thing about Jeffrey Epstein also that we got to put this on there. I honestly, if there was ever a time I'd have to tell you, sir, you're gonna have to deal with how shitty life is. Do y'all think
could he get a court order?
Do you think any judge is going to put his neck on the line to put a court order for Bill Clinton for a dude whose mom was a prostitute? Do you really think somebody's gonna put their job and their career on the line?
I thought it was right is right. I thought to everyone.
No, what country do you live in? What's right is right. Where was this dude when he was president? Who knows? He's probably just a kid when he was president. Yeah, I think he's in his 20s.
They just said that they tried to go to the house.
Well, that's when he was a governor.
And Hillary had him. Yeah, well, when he was president, that's when they put them in foster care. They took him and threw him in foster care.
Listen,
away from the aunt, they separated them.
I would be very careful making these videos. That's all I'm saying. I would be very careful. I know a lot of our audience isn't familiar with Whitewater when people showed up dead in Whitewater and the Clintons scurried off. I would be very careful of making these videos. Bill don't love these. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. It's sad, but I don't know what to tell you, homie. I just talked to a therapist and worked through this. Bill on the verge of being out of here himself. Like Bill's damn near in his 80s right now. So I don't know exactly. I don't know if he's trying to get the money now. Obviously, the relationship ain't gonna happen. Bill ain't gonna come and be daddy. That ain't gonna happen. Trent said a good morning.
The clearing of the name. I've been saying this for years. Y'all played me. I just wanted the truth to be out. Like some people are just on that tip. He could be on that vibe of I don't want nothing from you, but I just want the world to know, how y'all did me. Y'all was paid us to be quiet, basically like hush money. We was getting that bread, and then as soon as you got to the presidency, all that stopped. And now you're denying as if you don't even know what's going on.
I mean, but what is this country gonna say when with the stories about when they drag his mom's stories out and they start bringing all the stuff that she was doing? We not gonna pay no attention to this. Unfortunately, we're not. Nobody gonna care.
Yeah, nobody. Ultimately.
Nobody gonna care about this.
Yeah, okay, all right. Bill was your dad. All right. You missed out on them years.
When did the payment stop? When he became the president? Is that what they said? The payment stopped when he became the president or something?
That's what he said. Yep, the money stopped as soon as he got that gig. It was like, oh, shut it down. But Bill could have other ways to pay him. I mean, people could pay through other ways if Bill really wanted to keep paying him too.
Bill ain't gonna keep that up because that would when you do stuff like that, that includes other people in it. And when them other people get pissed off, then they might leak it out. You can't have all them other people. Them state troopers don't even want to be mentioned. I bet you them state troopers they don't ever want to be mentioned.
Yeah.
I was like, I was just doing a homie a favor. He said, drop the package off at so-and-so at 7th and Arch Street and just drop it off and don't say nothing. I'm sure them state troopers are in somewhere in hiding, like, don't bring me up, homie. That's a weird. When I saw the story, and once again, the story, if I had to bet my 75 cents once again, I would bet that it's true. But once you say your mom was working the streets, it's kind of hard to get a judge to be like, yeah, I know my mom was a drug addict. I know my mom was a woman of the night. What I want you to do is I want you to send a court order to a former 2-term president based on this. Bill gonna tell, look, son, your mama. Yeah, I ain't saying that was.
Well, he acknowledged his mom was in the street, so
I feel bad for him. I really do. But the reason why you really, really screwed up, let's keep it 100. It's because of your mom, not because of Bill. Don't try and blame this whole thing on. Don't try. Bill was a small portion of this situation. But you can't get no money from her. I'm just trying to keep it a buck here. The struggles that you have are tragic, but whatever your mom was going through, whatever she went through, had more to do with that than anything else. Out of control. But people are out of control all over the place. Speaking of out of control, Keith Murray's out of control.
Keith Murray, legendary rapper, Hit Squad. No, Def Squad. Def Squad.
From the research department, happy birthday to hip hop legend DLC. DLC is what?
It's the diggy. He is not no 77
DLC,
years
I just
old.
saw DLC. Well, I didn't just see him. I saw him like 4 years ago. He's 77. He can't be 77 trendsetter.
Yeah. The research department wrong on this one.
He like a little younger than Bill Clinton. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, what do we? Okay. Anyway, Keith Murray's wilding out, y'all.
He's 54. He was born in 68.
I was about to say, I should have said he was 70.
Damn, I had to look that up myself real quick.
DLC is older than hip hop. What do you say?
I'm celebrating 50. You said oh God.
Rick Reviews said lucky he didn't get shot. Right? Yeah, Russian Hillary. Don't mess with Hillary. The stripper game started way back in Africa. Yeah, Keith Murray's out of control. Keith Murray got stories about performing oral presentations. He got stories about Diddy getting slapped in the face by Suge. I don't even know. It's like somebody got to slow Keith Murray down before he winds up missing. Like Keith Murray is just out of absolute control. Do we have the video of Keith Murray? Do we have Keith Murray? Do we have what he's rambling about?
I do. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it
Bill, his dad just
this is about
What is this?
It's about Bill Cosby's daughter.
The most beautiful thing in this world.
Keith Murray got a story about Bill Cosby's daughter. Jeez, my God. Oh my, he got a story about Foxy Brown. He got a story.
So he's telling it all. He's telling stuff that people he ran through, and he ain't supposed to be talking like that, but he letting it out because he getting older probably. Let me see how old Keith Murray is. He might be 78.
Keith is 78 years old via the research.
Oh no, he only 48. He was born in
48. So here's Keith Murray rambling and rambling. You can tell Keith Murray on some type of drugs just by the way he tells these stories. Allegedly, the effect of drugs that he's had in his life, because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on right now. So let's see if we can get Keith Murray on. Just so we ain't even got to play the whole thing. We just got to his random. It's not what?
It's not long.
Cosby daughter, Evan. Oh, Evan, my Evan. I love Evan.
This guy.
But I was dating her. And she was my girlfriend. And
Dating and girlfriend, same.
I was like at Eric's house one day talking because Eric knew a girl he knew or something like that. But like I said, I kind of like wasn't playing my cards right because I love Bill Cosby and from the the show. And I used to be in my car and I used to see the mother come up. I'd be like, oh, that's your mother? Word? But I couldn't date her because she looked just exactly like Bill. So I'm hitting it. Eating the but I look up, I see, I'm dipping in the pudding. And I really see Bill Cosby's face. I'm like, ah, man. My little man like,
well, all right, Chuck.
Somebody, yo, I understand everybody wants to get likes and views. Can somebody stop the camera, man? Can y'all stop recording him? Like he's got he did a whole long thing on Suge smacking the hell out of, in his words, the dog-ish out of Puff. Keith has been hanging out with Bobby Brown. Keith Murray is on a different world. Like I don't need different world. Bill Cosby, funny. He's turning into Orlando Brown. Like, what is it with guys these days? And like, we are really launching off and telling all the business. What happened to the rules, y'all? The boy drunk and high. Yes, the boy drunk and high on all these interviews. Another kiss and tell ninja. Yeah, I don't get it, y'all. I guess we old, y'all. I guess the rules don't count. And he 48. Is he looking for money? With drugs. Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad. And even if these stories matter, what if these stories are true? It don't matter. Is that the new trend now? Because if that's the case, I can't never get married. This guy hilarious. The most silliest thing in this world is just like that. I tell on you.
I tell on you.
Oh,
well, that was her. So
he got a picture of her.
He said he was hitting her, looking like her dad. I can't do that. That was his girl.
You know how mad you got to be as a dad that you do all this work and
she got a Monique vibe, Monique the comedian vibe to me. I don't know
and you start getting smashed out by a rapper. Oh, that would hurt my feelings if I was Bill. But he was too busy putting little pills and stuff. Cocaine, a hell of a drug. I don't know what drug you're doing. I don't know what drug got you acting like this. I don't know. Do we have to write a new set of my weed not bad? No, your weed is fine, Stacey. Your weed is fine. Your weed is fine. As long as you never had any intimate relations with Keith Murray, everything. There's got to be a rule against this. He didn't even say allegedly. He just said this is one joint. He said, I'm just speaking my truth. This is what we have taken speaking your truth as now.
Well, it is his truth. If you start telling stories of people you may have had encounters with over the years as a young man, that's your truth. It may be a chatty patty effect and people get backlash, but it's your truth. He really had who was it? The first one he said he was with
Foxy Brown
and Bill Cosby's daughter, and he said he was in relationships with these chicks. So
all of a sudden, love after lockup don't seem as bad. Like all of a sudden,
love after that ain't that bad now. Huh?
All of a sudden, it's just not. Oh my God, my head gonna explode. They dropped. DJ Super said they dropped one yesterday where he told the story of he and Nas almost got robbed in Queen. It's like if you were near Keith Murray, ever understand, be afraid because he's about to expose. If anything happened, y'all guys could have y'all could have went to Starbucks together. He about to tell the story. Good morning, Tam.
He might tell her. Remember, he was trying to holler at Sexy Mo so hard in the studio. He was going hard, and I tried to encourage Mo to go out with him.
I did not encourage that one. That one I did. Encourage.
I was like, it's Keith Murray. Go ahead. Like, who knew he was going to turn out?
Who knew Mo would be on a video right now? She'd be on that Summer Jam screen right now. She'd be on that Summer Jam screen right now.
Sexy Mo. I remember I was dating.
Thank God Sexy Mo didn't listen to Jay Black. Yeah. Now, allegedly, the Nas situation, I co-signed it. I was like, you need to take a vacation with Nas. And, they shooting. Yeah. All major look. I was.
You did encourage it.
Like, I'm not mad at you.
Keith Murray was hot at the time. I was like, oh, Keith Murray popping. Go ahead, go out on a date with him.
Lacey Mitchell said these days the OGs got to go deep with these stories for the bag. What are they getting paid for these stories?
I know Vlad be paying people for them interviews. Is that Vlad? I don't know who he's doing interviews with.
No, that wasn't even Vlad, because normally you hear the voice of the question. Whenever he does the promo, you always hear the question. If he gonna tell his truth,
but maybe they're tired of holding so many secrets. Maybe they're tired of that.
But it's one thing to hold secrets about stuff that is like bad stuff. He actually had fun. Like, he had fun doing all this stuff. He was like, I ate them. Like, he had a good time.
Yeah, he ain't trying to act like he was only a beneficiary. Like, no.
It might lead up to it. It might lead up to the other stories.
Damn it, man. This was supposed to only happen in barbershops. This wasn't supposed to be public knowledge. Like, the guys are literally, I can't defend the guys. The guys are worse than the women. They're worse than the women.
That's always been, guys always got more.
Y'all started writing books. Superhead wrote books. Like, Superhead wrote a whole book and aired out everybody. Like, geez, Sexy Mo would be on here, our own segment of Allegedly. Yeah, she would have been on Allegedly. She would have been reporting herself.
Well, I guess it's here too, Mike.
Oh my God. How can we get to a respected lawyer after we talked about Keith Murray eating the pudding? I'm embarrassed. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard us talk about the story about the 6-year-old shooting the teacher in class. And I think she's still in the hospital in bad condition. Jay Black says the parents shouldn't have any negligent charges against them, even though we don't know any facts. Remember, y'all, remember the show you're watching. We don't know any facts yet.
Nope.
But the one person that is respected, well, other than Shawnee, is respected, and she's in a platform where she actually knows the law. Miss Leah Frazier, a good friend of the show. Miss Leah Frazier is in the building.
Good morning, Leah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Leah, we love seeing you.
We
First
miss
of all,
you.
we love seeing
I
you.
miss y'all too.
We miss you, but you understand Jay only called you. He only calls you because he wants to win an argument. That's the only reason he calls you. He doesn't call you because he calls you because he has an agenda. That's all it is. So I'm just letting you know, this was not my idea. He actually put this in the group text and immediately said, we need to have Leah Frazier on the show. And I was like, what? I didn't even know we was doing this on the show.
Because Mike would automatically say the parents got to be charged.
No, I said
it's a duty of care in the law. If you have a duty of care, negligence, you can't just.
First of all, that law that you keep reading is so you can tell that's the only law you've ever read, because you can always tell when somebody knows one chapter in the Bible or one verse in the Bible because they always go right to it. They always go directly to it. Leah Frazier, you heard about the tragedy. 6-year-old shoots a teacher in Virginia. Yeah. They've been very hush hush about this, which is shocking. That there's been no speculation. We haven't seen the parents. We haven't heard from the parents. Normally, TMZ by now would have had the parents' names, would have had the picture, they would have had on the front. Where do you think they're going with this? What do you think the police right now are involved in? I mean, we know they're investigating, but just take a step by step of what you think is going on.
Well, just kind of after reviewing everything, I did see it on social media. I don't think, to your point, I don't think it's getting as widespread attention as it should get, but let it have been, a Black child, it would have been a whole nother story.
Facts.
But I do think in the way that they're saying that this 6-year-old, they said that the 6-year-old shot the teacher with malicious intent. And so in any time you have a criminal charge, now, mind you, I believe this is over in the UK, so their laws may be a little bit different.
No, this
is in VA, it's in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, the ladies from the UK who complained.
Okay. But you have to have criminal intent. And so for them to already be using these type of words with this 6-year-old, saying that he actually had the mindset and the intent to go in and shoot the teacher, says a lot about what direction they're going criminally. When you talk about negligence, you can go two ways. You can have criminal negligence and you can have civil negligence against the parents. And I think, in my opinion, they may be looking into the facts to see whether or not the parents were negligent in allowing that child to have access to that firearm. But again, to Mike's point, the facts really aren't there, but I do think that they're going to be doing a lot of digging to figure out how did the child know how to shoot the gun and how this, again, the child forming, the intent where was the gun located? The safety was obviously off. There's so many different factors here that I think if they were to keeps freezing up. My camera keeps freezing up. I'm sorry, y'all. If they were to look at the parents, I think they would have possibly a case of civil negligence if the teacher decided to sue the parents. I do think that there's actually a case for that here.
So, because Jay says, well, what if they locked it up and the 6-year-old actually knew the code?
They broke the code.
And the 6-year-old was savvy enough that after he was watching Puss in the Boots, after he finished watching Puss in the Boots, he scurried upstairs and he cracked the code and he walked out. Well, the parents, he said, are scot-free because they did their job. They put the gun up and they hit it, so there'll be no charges. They're going to be fine. You can't blame them. How do you feel about that?
It's not the way he said it, Leah. If the parents did their due diligence, they had the duty of care, they had systems in place, and the kids still somehow figured out how to break into a lockbox and into a secured area and got it. Like, does that change the narrative for the parent if they had systems in place and it wasn't negligent and they had reasonable aspects, to prevent that?
Yeah, there's reasonable aspects, but we don't know that right now. We don't know. We don't know anything. So to your point, it could go either way, but to say that there may not be a case for negligence here is negligent in and of itself. But
she told you, Jay.
Wait, what'd she say? What'd she say? What'd she say? I was looking at the comments.
To say there's no possible way of negligence is negligence in itself. She's saying what you saying is negligent in itself.
No, Lee, I was just saying, if you as a parent, you had your lockbox, you did everything right. You did everything right, but the kid somehow figured out the code or got it to break it open.
He's 6, right?
And they watch every little thing over your shoulder. They figure out, they may have tried different code combinations. Oh, let me try grandma's birthday. Let me try, let me flip
grandma's birthday
the year and this. And they are really
savvy. This is not you trying to crack somebody's cell phone code. This is a 6-year-old.
This is gonna be a little bit different because, like I said before, just by the way that they're reporting the case and the language that's being used, like this isn't a normal 6-year-old. I got access to mom and dad's gun, threw it in my backpack, just kind of waved it around and thought it was a cool new toy. They're saying that this 6-year-old went into that school with the actual intent to shoot and harm his teacher. And so that is way different. So when you're looking at the negligent piece, it's, to your point, Jay, like what were all the factors where how the kid had access to the gun, but were the parents around? How did he know how to shoot the gun? Where was the gun displayed at any point in time?
Is it illegal taking your kid to the range?
I think when they're 6.
It's not illegal, but what I'm saying is that, like, how much access did this kid have to the gun? Because they're saying mentally he had way more intent and had way more of a criminal mindset than just a 6-year-old kid that took mom and dad's gun to school and threw it in his backpack.
We have a comment from Nikki White Chocolate. She says, Jay Black, just stop it. His little ass don't know his own birthday, let alone Nana's. Jay Black is reaching the entire show. He's been reaching.
No, because I didn't like the fact you tried to blame it on the parents. And I'm thinking, if the parents did their job or tried, how are you immediately trying to charge the parents?
If a 6-year-old outsmarted you, you didn't do your job. If a 6-year-old
court don't work that way.
No, it does work on this way. The judge is gonna sit there and say, we gotta charge us. You want me to charge a 6-year-old? No, bring them goddamn parents in here so I can have some adults in this courtroom so I ain't got to go through the scrutiny that I'm have to go through to try and put a 6-year-old in jail.
Regardless of anything criminal on the civil side, I think there's definitely going to be a lawsuit once the teacher hopefully recovers for her damages, any, emotional or mental suffering she's going through, hospital bills, like that will possibly get charged back to the parents. And the crux of that lawsuit is going to be in negligence. So and I don't see any judge they're going to go above and beyond to comb through the facts to see how and why this child had access to that.
Now, on that same line, Leah, and I showed them this case that just happened in Oklahoma. Sadly, a 12-year-old stabbed their 9-year-old brother to death. And I said, wait, should the parents have kept the knives up? So are the parents going to be charged here too? Like, is it all weapons that can kill someone? As a parent, you could be liable?
No, I wouldn't necessarily say that. And I would need to see, I would have to have all of the facts. It's more of like, to your point, Jay, you do have a point. Did the parents take the steps reasonable? You know, there's always that word and there's always that gray area, reasonable to, you know, shield the children from, you know, from harm. And so if a normal person would put knives on the counter and, you know, to the side or whatever, but those kids went in and got it anyway and stabbed the brother or whatever, then I mean that's something that the courts would definitely look at. But it's always that reasonable factor.
Don Page wants to know, can a 6-year-old be charged?
I'm not a criminal attorney, but I mean there's juvenile courts for a reason.
Oh, as a juvenile. Because they don't want it just to go as an accident. They want somebody to be held accountable. Obviously, they don't want that to just.
No, I'm telling you, if you read the reports out there, the way they're already labeling this child and they're already trying to say, no, they had the intent, like to go in and harm this teacher. And they're not just going to let that go.
So the parents can't be charged.
Well, once all the facts come out, as long as we know that there's a chance it can go either way.
So we're going to do assumptions because Jay assumed the duty. He assumed that they put it up in a box.
Duty of care.
He assumed, this is the assumptions that Jay Black had. Jay Black
care.
has the assumption that a 6-year-old may have cracked the code and may have tried it many times. And after trying it many times, the parents never noticed that there was something different going on in this closet where this gun was held. And they never caught the 6-year-old in there. And the code was so easy that he broke the code. Then as he broke the code, he put the gun in a bag, which none of the parents noticed because nobody checked anything. They took a 6-year-old to school with a gun. He shot everybody up, but the parents have no. But he thinks I check my kids' book bags.
You don't check your kids' book bags every day when they go to school.
I had to pack their book bags when they were 6. What are you talking about? I had to put their stuff in the book bag because I had to put their lunch in the book bag.
And then they grab it on their way out.
And then I grab it, I give it to them, and I walk them to the school bus.
But keep going, because you trying to build your case.
Now, ain't nobody built. This is the assumptions. This is Jay Black's make-believe world to try and reach. All this was done by the mastermind of a 6-year-old, but the parents knowing nothing, the 6-year-old is not their responsibility. Of course, the 6-year-old is their responsibility. Of course, their actions of a 6-year-old is the parent's responsibility. Of course, they could be charged with something. That just makes sense. But you've made it that the parents did everything. You've turned a 6-year-old into a genius.
No, what I did was as soon as you said the parents should be charged, I immediately got defensive and said, well, we don't know if the parents did their due diligence.
Yeah,
if their duty of care was there, you can't just immediately charge the parents. If they did what they supposed to do, that ain't fair to them.
But you are assuming that they did. But you don't.
And you're assuming that they didn't.
But you don't. What I'm saying is that if people own guns, understand that the responsibility should be on a higher level when you own something that can kill somebody. So just putting it up ain't enough. But people who own guns don't want that responsibility. They want to own something that can kill somebody, but they don't want the responsibility of the end result when it actually happens. And they're like, oops. Parents want to say, oops, I did all I could. I mean, I put it up. I didn't think he'd be able to get it. No, that's not good enough for the person who winds up dead. That's what I'm saying. I'm not making all these make-believe assumptions that it was hid in some NASA lock that had 3 different codes that you had to put a fingerprint on, and then you had to take a face ID, but somehow or another, the 6-year-old cracked all that stuff. Since the kid is a genius, put it back up. Since the kid is a genius cracking codes and shit, they better put him in a Supermax. Damn. Okay. Lady Q brought to you. This is a Q comment brought to you by Woke Up Inspired. I check my son's backpack every day after school and in the morning, so I know what he has in it. Trendsetter: a juvenile judge would have authority, though, to revoke a parent's custody and place a child under the purview of the Department of Social Services. Jay don't care. Jay, as long as I don't go to jail, you can take the kid as long as I ain't go to jail because I ain't do nothing.
Well, he did the crime. I shouldn't go to jail for your actions.
Yeah, the 6-year-old. You're a 6-year-old.
I don't care what age you are.
They're under your custody.
Exactly. I'm not going to jail because of what you did. You went out. You jumped through hoops to do this. You were arguing with your teacher.
There goes another false statement. Go ahead.
You're arguing with your teacher. There's a build-up.
There goes another false statement.
It doesn't work like that. They're still under your custody and care.
You heard
And
that,
so
Lord?
I'm definitely gonna investigate that.
You can investigate,
It
but I
don't
did
work
my
like
job.
that.
I did my job. I
No,
tried
it's
to.
not up to you whether you did your job or not. It's up to a judge to decide whether you did your job or not.
And
What
it
you
ain't up
think
to
is
you to say
irrelevant.
that it ain't up to you to say the parent gotta go to jail just because the
I
kid
didn't
did
say
a
they gotta
horrible
go to
act.
jail. That was never what I said.
That's what you said. You said prosecute the parents.
No, I said they can be prosecuted if it finds out that they were negligent.
Yeah. You
Lady
didn't say all
Q,
that, but
woke up inspired. Sounds like this child has documented mental issues, and parents at most will be charged for the weapon being accessible, knowing his issues.
assuming it was
No,
accessible.
you might as well, you know what? Instead of being on the square, you might as well lose the argument to your wife at home. You might as well do that.
Right. Lady Q's on my side. I wanted to go back to a valid point that a trendsetter had made earlier when he was talking about the law about a 6-year-old. Again, I just want to say I'm not a criminal attorney. However, I do know that there's certain precedents that the courts do not want to set. So I think it would be very, very interesting to see how this plays out in court. It was his other comment. I think it was
not
the
this
one
one.
he made after this, where he was saying that right here, that the judge would have the authority to revoke the parent's custody and place the child, in Department of Social Services. So even if, let's say, that they don't do anything with the 6-year-old, they're not going to want to set a precedent that a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, if they're underage, can go in and just potentially murder somebody. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what changes may be made because of the laws that they have set. But Jay,
I'm just hypothetical, Leah.
No, I know
Other sides.
it's not
Hypothetical ain't saying I did my job. That ain't hypothetical.
The parents are gonna be under fire for this one. They're gonna do a deep investigation.
As they should. They should investigate.
Don Page, Jay, they changed the father of the guy who shot up the parade last year in Michigan. Oh, they charged the father of the guy who shot up the parade last year in Michigan. Oh, well, I didn't even hear about that. But thank you. Everybody drink.
It's duty of care. Duty of care. I looked into this. I know all about duty of care, and that's what we have. As long as it's reasonable.
First of all, that's what you have in Philadelphia. That's what you have.
Law. That's everywhere.
That's not every law in every state.
It is.
Every state has a different.
It is, Mike.
It is.
You're wrong, Mike. You're wrong, Mike. You're wrong.
The basic elements of negligence does show, like, one of them, I think, out of the 5 is the duty of care.
Well, I apologize. Jay's wrong about everything else, so he got one. Jay got one. Jay, you going to jail? Don't pass go. Yeah, Jay's going to jail because Jay's defense is gonna tell the judge I did my job. Oh, lock him up. Just lock him up right now. Lady Q, another Q comment brought to you by Woke Up Inspired. You can get the merchandise, the hoodie that Jay's wearing, and the shirt in the background. A child with a healthy mind doesn't even think to shoot anybody, let alone go through the steps to actually do it. Well, that's something that they're gonna have to figure out. Now, listen, I don't want to be part of that. I hope this doesn't go to a jury. I would hate to be part of a jury. I don't know how that works. I would hate to be part of that. I would hate to have to try and send a 6-year-old to prison or any type of facility for years.
And the lady didn't die. She shot in the stomach, so she's not dead. So I guess that changes things too. If she died, murder is different.
I thought she was still like in urgent care. She's still in the
but she's still alive. So I think the narrative changed if they died, all right, Leah? Ain't that like a whole different ballgame?
I am concerned that this child shot with the intention to maliciously hurt the teacher. I think that's going to be now. If there is documented mental issues, obviously that will come into play.
I think he's talking about the parade situation. The parade, when the guy shot up the parade, the father got the son an assault rifle knowing he had mental issues, so he got charged.
Well, the difference in that case is the father actually delivered the weapon.
See that, Jay? He did his job. He got him the gun. He did his job. He did his job. He did his job. He got him. Jay Black, did you get it confused with Call of Duty? That's what Mark says. He wants to know if you got
duty of care, Shady Mark. It's duty of care. I ain't get it confused.
That when my boys
go Google duty of care.
When my boys did something and the cops came knocking, I took them to where they was. I'm not going to jail.
Jeanette
said, I don't give a damn.
Actually, let me take you to
Jeanette was like, yo, I just sent them to a store to get a gallon of milk. They should be back in a matter of 10 to 15 minutes. But if you want, you can meet them at the store. I can point you to the store. Lady Q has obviously played Call of Duty as a kid. Obviously.
But Leah, is it normal for a teacher to be arguing with a student repeatedly? I'm assuming
How do you know this?
On and on. They said it was after an argument. The teacher said they were arguing, and that's when the boy shot her.
So I wonder,
These
is
kids
that
are something
normal?
else these days. I have a lot of folks in education, and they're telling me these kids are built different. And then you got to understand there's a lot of stress, especially post-pandemic, with a lot of educators. The classrooms are different. The children came back different when they had to go back in person. There was a lot of mental health issues, more than before documented. So there's a lot of stress factors. And these kids are, like I said, these kids are coming in here.
Yeah, Jay, that was
No,
Jay.
no,
Jay
not
said
like
she
that,
didn't
Richard.
die. She
Not
just
like
got
that.
shot in
I
the
was
stomach.
just saying because the narrative changes when someone is murdered versus someone is injured. Obviously, it's a heightened level when you're murdered versus injury, assault, or different things. There's levels to the crime. That's all I was saying. I'm not diminishing. No, I'm not.
The most obnoxious thing you said is it normal for a teacher to go back and forth with a student?
But
Yeah,
you're
it is.
agitating the situation.
It is
Go to
normal
the
to go
parent.
back.
Set up the parent-teacher conference. I'm not putting myself in a situation where I'm arguing with someone that's
How
that
are
much
you
younger than me.
supposed to know the
It's
6-year-old
more.
had a gun?
But for me, as the adult and the one in charge, is more onus on me to be that
Hey,
leader.
I'm with your kid every day. There's going to be a back and forth every day. You're going to go back and forth. Teachers went back and forth with me every single day. You can't call a parent on every conversation you have that you claim is a back and forth.
Serious, and I'm sure a threat was said. You got to take all this stuff
How
serious.
are you sure about? How do you say shit like this? How are you sure a threat was actually issued?
Generally, if we're arguing back and forth and it's going on,
what
there's some type
arguments
of
do
threat.
you have? What arguments do you have?
People threaten when you argue with somebody. They threaten. They say,
it's called a
or they
back
give
and
you the
forth.
insinuation that they're going to do bodily harm or
Who says
something.
that in school? Like, it's just a back and forth. You don't have your homework done again. Oh, I forgot it. Well, you need to get it together, because if you don't bring this homework in, it's going to be labeled a 0. That's a back and forth. You got this looking like Boys in the Hood. Like, he was literally like, yo, I swear to God, when I come back on my mother, the next time I'm up in here, I'm bringing the whole thing with me. I'm bringing the glizzy with me next time. What are you talking about?
Right.
The teacher and principal at my daughter's school told this is the worst for 4th grade class they have ever seen. This is the worst 4th grade class they've ever seen.
See, Dodd has a point. Out of control. And you got these teachers in here who are just as fragile too. So they ready to snap.
No, Jay's the person who, when you discipline my kid, he comes up and beats the teacher's ass. That's what he wants. If she didn't give, what was that comment? If she didn't give him his goldfish, I get it. Yeah, I mean, goldfish are important to a 6-year-old. The same 6-year-old who cracked the code to get the gun out the alleged gun box and was able to figure it out by going down the name.
Glad y'all are amused.
We're amused at the assumptions that you make are amazing,
and the ones that you assume that didn't happen.
I didn't assume. My one assumption, I said, if they were negligent, they can get charged.
No, you went right in. The parents should be charged. This is easy.
If they got a gun in their house, and these gun owners got a gun in your house that a 6-year-old can get to, you were negligent. COVID started 2019. Yeah, this kid should have been over there.
Well, I'm glad we got Leah Frazier here. We missed you, Leah. And I'm glad you were able to tell Mike he was wrong.
That was 3 years ago. The kid was 3 years old. He was staying home regardless. He wasn't online schooling. He was watching Puss in the Boots.
He was watching Puss in the Boots.
He was watching Puss in the Boots.
What?
It sounds so funny when he says it's just Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots.
Mike never heard of Puss in Boots.
Hold on.
Puss in Boots.
That sounds better. Puss in Boots. That sounded better. Well, since Leah's here, we might as well have Leah, since she's well versed in a lot of things. A lot of people get really we're gonna get off this, and because I wanted to, we don't have a lot of time. Rodney Perry today.
No.
All right, there I go being responsible. That's why I need not be responsible. Shit, the parents should be charged. Thank you, Don Page. Okay, a lot of people in this world. There are a lot of people in this world who a breakup can break them down. No pun intended. People take breakups very hard. Like, people go into depressions. People sometimes lead into alcohol and drug addiction. Sometimes it turns into violence where the person won't let the relationship go. And that turns into, you got to get a restraining order. There's stalkers. There's all types of tragic endings. I saw a clip on how I want everybody to handle a breakup if somebody is coming to break up with you. This is the way. I think this is the perfect way to handle if somebody breaks up with you, and I want to get everybody's opinion afterwards. It's off of a famous TV show.
Stretch. Keep going.
It's off a famous TV show,
Keep going.
the Seinfeld show, which I watched a lot. I watched it a lot. So Jerry Seinfeld, I watched the whole thing. What was that comment that was up there? That was just up there real quick.
Your porn, your search history.
Going to your porn, no search category. Puss in Boots. Yes, that sounds like something that should be on Pornhub. But these cats, they're like kids is watching it. Puss in Boots, not the cat.
It's a book. It's been out forever. Oh,
for years.
It doesn't make it less nasty. It doesn't change the agenda that whoever created. They knew what they was doing. These old nasty men knew what they was doing in the 50s. And call it Puss in the Boot.
All right, I'm
ready.
ready.
All right, this is the ultimate way. This is the way I want people to practice. I want you to practice this. I don't care how much the breakup hurts. This is how I want you to handle a breakup. Here's the clip.
Yeah, stretch this a little bit more. But here it is.
Well, I don't think we could see each other anymore.
Oh, that's
What?
no, fine, no problem. I'll meet somebody else. Sure, see, things always even out for me. It's fine. Anyway, it's been really nice dating you for a while, and good luck.
Yeah,
You'll be coming around.
Well,
I think that's the perfect way to handle a breakup, y'all.
A happy breakup.
I don't care how much it hurts. I don't care how much it hurts. You move on. Leah's our guest. Leah, how do you handle breakups? Do you agree with this is the way we should handle a breakup?
Yeah, I'm an Aquarius. We have no emotions, so that's exactly how I would have handled it.
You don't have any emotions.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
But you seem
we're
like
we're very cold.
They say you're very cold.
Yeah, I would have handled it the same way. I don't like people to know that they hurt me, so I'm just like, oh, okay. Good luck to you.
Good luck to you. You actually hit him with the good luck to you.
Good luck to you. Oh yeah, because you'll never find somebody like me.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Try that with a black woman. Your tires be flat the next day. Listen, man, I'm not gonna profile. I don't feel like we ain't got enough time in the show to start profiling black women. Shawnee, how do you feel? Do you think this is the appropriate way to handle a breakup? Do you handle it like this? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
Absolutely, I think so. I just stopped talking.
You stopped talking. What do you mean you just
But I won't talk to you no more. It's just if that's what it is. Okay, cool. If I see you in the street, hey, how you doing?
Maybe.
But all that calling, hey, how you doing? You don't have nothing to talk about.
So you have never tried to stop a person from breaking up with you? Like, well, I think we can still work this out. Like,
you never Kanye'd it, trying to fight for
hey,
it.
you're jumping the gun here. We've worked. We've invested a lot of time in this relationship. Why can't we? No. Okay.
Usually it doesn't get to that. I mean, if it comes down to saying it, I'm the one that says I want to break up. But if a dude start like treating me differently, if we've been going down one path and this is what has been consistent, and then all of a sudden you put the script on me, I stop talking. Now I don't answer no calls, nothing. It's just over.
But they just stop doing what? They stop doing what do they stop doing? They just stop being what? Like what happens? Like what happens? I need to write this down. So what do you mean when they're not consistent? What do they start taking showers at a different time or something? Like what is it?
No, it changes. Everything changes. So when it change, I change.
When it changed, okay, all right. But when
they
actually,
she gonna match your energy.
Yeah, when you change, I change. If you start showing me. I'm not saying you take a shower at a different time, but when certain patterns change, then ain't nothing to talk about because it's so obvious. Like it's not little. Say it be so obvious that it's like it ain't even no need to. Why am I even gonna have this conversation with this man? This a grown man. He know what he doing. So it was just end the conversation. There's nothing else to talk about. So I won't take your call. Won't answer. Don't send me no inbox or none of that because I'm not gonna respond.
I see why.
Michael Shawn taking notes. Yeah, I saw him take. He write everything Shotty said. He writing it down.
I'm writing it down because I've never broken up with a person. Like everybody always breaks up with me. So and the thing is, I don't pay attention because it always catches me by surprise. I'm like, damn, for real? Like it's over? Like you gone? Like Even if I want them to break up with me, I'll be shocked. But I didn't catch the scene. So Jay Black, how do you handle when somebody breaks up with you? How do you handle? Do you think that's the perfect way?
You can't break up with me.
What in the world is
and I'm just being honest.
Hold on. Why can't I hear you?
Wait a minute. I couldn't hear me. Go ahead.
You couldn't hear me? No, I would say you can't break up with me. Honestly, if I'm not done with the relationship, it's not over yet. I'm just
Jay Black didn't mean that, y'all. Jay Black didn't mean what he
That's not good, Jay.
Oh, he didn't mean what he just said.
That's not good.
Stalkerish.
Yeah.
ID channel.
Okay, we're not telling the truth. Okay, all right. Well, I go
I
along.
am telling the truth. I am telling the truth. You can ask all my friends. I keep it pushing. I am not worried about.
If it's not over, it's not over. Like people fight for relationships. You see what Kanye was trying to fight.
Out, but she wants out. You're gonna stop her from being out.
I got it. She may not want out. It's levels to wanting out. It is. If we being honest, there's levels, and when you're out is different. When you're done. Like
when
you
you're out, done, it's different. When you're out, it's different.
It's
and
over,
when you're out, it's different.
That's why jail cells are so full.
No, right? if y'all just being honest with it. But yeah, it ain't over. And then if it is over, I need everything back for it to be truly over.
Oh my gosh.
Because you giving me if it's over, I need run that. I need everything I need it all back. If you want me to go away peaceful, you better give me all mine. I want it all back. I want it all.
You know, she just got called a cop and said he won't leave because I'm gonna give you your stuff back, but the relationship is over.
The cops and the paperwork and all that stuff ain't really what it really is. You know, you want a peaceful. You know that the cops ain't there 24/7. Just run me my jewelry
you
back.
threaten the person now.
I'm not threatening. I'm just saying I need mine back.
Her.
I'm not saying it out loud foolishly. What I'm saying is I need my stuff back.
How did you say it? Did you sign it? You just said it.
Did I sign it? Well, no, I'm saying like if it was in that relationship, I'm not going to say it like that and then knowing that she could be recording me or like all that type stuff. But all right. I may be saying too much.
Tashabi said that's why your son won't take the damn jacket off. Real talk.
Let me put these comments up.
See, Don agrees. For real.
Trent said it says first, Aquarius detach themselves from the situation. There's nothing more heartbreaking to us than losing a friend and a lover. So we need some time alone. So, okay. So, but it does affect you. You do have emotions. You just won't show the emotion.
Well, but what I'm saying is to the other person, it's not visible because we're not going to show it. Now, we may go home and cry and whatever, but on the outward, we're not allowing that person to have access to the fact that what you did just hurt us. I'm not going to show you that. Now, when I go home, I may cry about it, but to your face, the Seinfeld move.
You're going to cry in the car, but yeah. And y'all going to stop acting like it's not levels to being out. Y'all really don't know what y'all don't know what I'm saying. How many times y'all broke up with somebody just verbally? You know you didn't really mean it. You were just angry in the moment.
There is a level because if the guy can get me to answer the phone, then I'm not done.
You're not out. You're not done.
Stop talking. If
I don't play.
That's it. That is. Don't you just stop.
Jay Black got the death row relationship mentality. No fact. You got 6 more albums to do before you get out this contract.
Oh my God.
I don't do the out.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
If you say you out, I believe you out.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You know it's levels, Mike.
I'm out the house now. I'm out of relationship now because somebody said you want out, then get
But it wasn't the first out. They wasn't out.
No, that was
like
the
you
first.
Wasn't out.
That wasn't the first argument, but that was the first time somebody said you gotta go, and I was like, okay, I got no. Well, actually, I said no, you gotta go because you no, you gotta go. But Lady Q, if you being held, Lady Q, if you're being held hostage, put a laughing emoji in the comments, and we will help.
You want to send help? Whatever, Richard. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about.
At a certain age, you have to stop playing them games of out. There's a certain age where if you say you out, you better mean you're out.
February Aquarius.
And sometimes we fall for the bullshit and we do get sucked back in. That's the problem. You can tell Lady Q blink twice if you need help.
Stop it, Nikki. Y'all stop it. Y'all know we happy over here. We were just playing Uno, debating love at the lockup. We good. We good.
All right, this shows.
I love you guys.
Oh man.
We love having
All right.
you here.
Leah, thank you so much for joining us. When Jay Black needs you in an argument, we'll have you back. Leah Fraser, ladies and gentlemen. Leah Fraser.
Good
Unbelievable.
morning, Leah.
Unbelievable. Ow. Jay Black equals Ike and Lady Q equals T. Damn. Listen, man. He don't think there was nothing wrong with what he just said.
Because it's nothing. Because y'all understood it. You clearly understood
no,
it.
Shawnee understood it.
You
Leah understood it too.
You crazy.
Oh, she
crazy. Great show. All right, Tam.
Oh,
all right. This has been good. We got to start on Monday. Get our stuff going. We'll be back on here tomorrow morning as usual. We think, allegedly, there's a rumor that Sexy Mo will be back on the show tomorrow. But like allegedly, we reserve the right to retract that story at any time. So everybody,
we don't know.
When we see her on here,
that's when she's here.
That means she's here and she can do allegedly. Until then, everything is just up in the air. We don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, love me for who I am, not who you want me to be. Thank y'all so much for supporting, because I can never be that and understand there's only one thing in life that's guaranteed. It will end. So enjoy every minute, every second. You fight for everything in your life. Fight for your happiness and never let anyone take it from you. Queens, New York. I will be in Queens this Thursday. Anybody on the East Coast who's anywhere in the New York area, shout out to my man, Talent, Freddie Ricks, Marshall Brandon is rocking. So that's going to be a good time. Also, don't forget the Big Bink Break Room on the CW 33 every Saturday from 12 noon to 12:30. Then they have replays of the show. Please support that and spread the word about it. Shawnee Scott is on the show. Action Jackson is on the show. Nice. It's on there every Saturday, and we will be joining them soon. So anyway, it's 2023. Everybody enjoy their Monday. Have a good day. Stay positive. Be nice to people. Yeah.
Michael, Shawn, and the Takeover Legends, where the truth hurts, but also makes you